You're not going to believe it. Look who's back. World traveler. The Michael Bolton of health and fitness.
Oh, you're bringing that back.
Oh, yeah. I figured
Right.
well, you haven't been here in a while. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
I cut my hair, grew a little growth on the face.
Dr. Paul Arciero, welcome back.
Jesse,
Paul.
great to be here.
It's really great to have you back again. Just quickly, travels to Hilton Head.
Yeah.
A couple of strong initiatives, and I know ones that you believe strongly in.
Absolutely.
What was that about?
Yeah, so the trip to Hilton Head and then followed up with the trip to D.C.
Yeah.
That was on behalf of the American Heart Association. And what I love about it was I was down there advocating for two really important missions, independent of the American Heart Association. They were increasing funding for the National Institute of Health
Yes.
for all of their research and initiatives around health and disease risk reduction. But then also the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, and that's the
That
federal
provides
program
meals for children,
that
right?
provides meals, and they provide lots of meals, nearly 50 million a day, both lunch and breakfast for young children.
Well, let's just
in the school
cycle
system.
back on that just for a second. Up to 50 million
Yeah.
meals a day for children that otherwise would not get a
That's right.
nutritional meal.
That's right. And here's what's so unique about that is, and again, I was speaking on behalf of the American Heart Association, those children consume nearly 50% or more of their total food intake while they're at school.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're providing nutritious and nourishing meals for both breakfast and lunch as part of that program is really noble. So we got to keep that funding thriving and making sure that it's in place. And here's one other comment on that, is that that program has resulted in a 23% increase in fruit intake and a 16% increase in vegetable intake among these children.
Wow.
So, I mean, two great initiatives. So, you know, that funding we have to keep strong.
Well, God bless Pop-Tarts, but let's face it, it'd be nice if you could just eat an orange, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
sure.
tomorrow, by the way, Dr. Paul told me tomorrow is IBD Day, and that does not stand for Intercontinental Ballistic Day.
Defense.
Oh, sort of does, doesn't it? Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Oh.
It has to do with...
Irritable Bowel Disease Day. So
See,
it's
that's
world...
kind of related.
Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, it's a serious issue.
Yes, it
and
is.
it afflicts people at a really serious level. I mean,
Yes.
it can be fatal, but it's lifelong usually. And what we're talking
Now,
about...
it manifests itself, right, in
two different
areas.
conditions,
right?
right?
Okay.
So irritable bowel disease is really the umbrella term that we give. And again, tomorrow is the recognition and awareness of these people that are afflicted by it. Not just them, but their families and their support system as well,
Yes,
because
sure.
it really does. But it really relates to Crohn's disease, which is
Wow,
an
that's
affliction
right.
of the digestive tract, really from the mouth all the way down. And then ulcerative colitis, which primarily is centered on the colon specifically, but both of them are debilitating conditions, and we're still trying to figure out best remedies for people that have these conditions. And again, like I said, they're life changing in a lot of ways for the people who are afflicted with it, but then also their families. Having a family member that has ulcerative colitis, I know the seriousness of it, and so I just want to bring more awareness and more attention, and to let people know that their research is ongoing, and we're finding that there are some really effective strategies other than what are currently available in conventional therapy. So for right now, one of the primary ways to put people in remission for these conditions are having them go on to prednisone, a corticosteroid, to help reduce, because these are inflammatory conditions, so they're very disruptive to our digestive system. So what you want to do is you want to quell the inflammation. And part of the problem is our digestive tract is lined with bacteria, and that bacteria is either non-existent or greatly impaired. And so building up that healthy bacteria is priority number one. So what they're finding is that this week is Digestive Disease Week, and it's actually down in D.C. So right now in D.C., there's the world-renowned scientists who study these diseases. They have all come together in one place to help figure out better strategies, treatment strategies, and prevention strategies for irritable bowel disease. And one of the ones that's been promoted is the consumption of a liquid probiotic. And a probiotic is nothing more than a liquid live bacteria that the person drinks, and then that flourishes inside of their digestive system, specifically their colon. And so they're finding really great promise to this as a treatment for people with irritable bowel disease.
Well, you know, I have a good friend whose daughter has it, and you're right, it affects her, and she's at that age, she's 13 years old, so she knows she's not a young one anymore, she's moving into her teen years. He had mentioned to me that one of the side effects of prednisone was weight gain, and I noticed that in his daughter, which of course makes it much harder for her with her self-esteem, self-confidence, right? But this probiotic solution is a much more natural kind of solution?
Absolutely. You know, this is one that's really targeting the problem at its root cause. So it's providing those nutrients that are going to help combat the disease itself.
Now, where could someone go to find out more information?
Well, there's some great websites. I mean, the irritableBowelDisease.org is a great site. Crohn'sAndColitis.org is another one. So those are two very prominent websites that are helping increase awareness and treatment of this condition. So those would be the two best starting places.
Well, you know what, and I know it's a very painful disease too.
Very painful, debilitating. It's life uprooting for these people because
Interesting.
of the condition.
It's not really life-threatening. It can be controlled, but it's very troublesome to cure.
Troublesome. It's lifelong.
Yeah,
Lifelong.
okay.
And in some cases, if it gets far enough down with being untreated, because people don't like to talk about this, right? I mean, it's one of those hidden kind of insidious types of conditions where they don't want to recognize it necessarily because it's not a comfortable public, speaking type of a condition. So, it's one of these things we have to increase awareness, and we have to develop better treatment strategies. And also prevention. You know, we don't know the cause, but we do know that lifestyle stress has an impact and exacerbates the condition. So, and we're finding it developing in younger and younger people. So that's another...
well, that would lead one to believe that it could be stress-related, because you realize that any of the studies that I've read about stress is that it's affecting our population younger and younger every decade.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you passed by on something, and I want to talk about it next week if we could. Before we went on air, Paul and I, besides the fact we were catching up, was I keep seeing tons of commercials about all of these juicers. Now, you were talking about this probiotic solution or whatever. Seems like everybody wants to throw oranges and cucumbers and celery in a blender and whack it up.
Put it all in.
Yeah. So
cleansing.
It's about cleansing, right?
It's a cleansing craze. Now, there's not a lot of research on it, but anecdotally, people who cleanse and juice feel like it's the answer.
Well, you know what? We won't be together next week because it's Memorial Day, but the following Monday, you're back again. June 3rd. Be great to have you back. Hey, one thing, in closing, how'd that research project wind up?
Oh, the research went fantastic.
Did
we
it?
had 57 participants who started and 56 finished.
Oh,
almost
great.
unheard
Well,
of.
I want to find
We'll
out more
catch up
about
on that. Have
too.
some great preliminary results, and that's what I was in Hilton Head doing. I was actually sharing some of those preliminary findings down in Hilton Head.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to stop
Great to be here, spreading the word.
Good to see you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.